Before Light Falls. A story by Stephen Creeks. Read for free at stephencreeks.com.
Chapter 7. I'd relieved Daniels on watch around 0500. Carter was still out cold, a deep, motionless sleep, almost insulting. I envied him. Not for his future, not for his history, just for that peace, that void he'd sunk into. Me? I hadn't slept a wink. I was used to the night watch, the alarms, the rude awakenings where you have to gear up in 30 seconds flat and sprint into the cold. It was almost a reflex, something etched into my bones. But tonight was different. A strange fatigue clung to me. Not physical exhaustion. This was in the mind. You don't often get a front row seat to the end of the world. And, truth be told, I would have preferred to stay in the dark. The silence in the infirmary was suffocating. Even breathing felt like a chore. As for Morris, he'd headed out to Site A. To see for myself, he'd said, pulling on his jacket. He had that cold clarity you see in soldiers when they realize the situation is way above their rank. And me? I felt like the more time passed, the more this whole thing became inexplicable, incomprehensible, surreal, and yet, at the same time, terrifyingly real. I stood up to check his vitals. The motion was automatic, almost comforting, a stupid way to keep myself upright. The machines clicked softly, a steady tick-tick, like a mechanical heart. Everything seemed normal. That's when the sound died. Not a silence, a hollow, like the air around me had just been vacuumed out. Then Carter inhaled. Not a normal breath, a rasping gasp, like a drowning man breaking the surface. His hand shot out and clamped onto mine, freezing, inhuman. His eyes snapped open, rolled back in his head. "Carter!" I shouted, trying to pry his grip off me. He wasn't looking at me. He wasn't looking at anything in the room. His gaze was fixed on a point far behind me, something that didn't exist in this place. His lips trembled. His voice wasn't quite his own anymore. Deeper, slower.
"I'm not here."
A shiver shot down my spine. I could feel my fingers going numb under the pressure of his hand.
"Carter, it's me. Everything's fine.
I didn't make it. I'm dead. I shouldn't be here."
He turned his head toward me, agonizingly slow. His eyes took a long time to actually find me, like his gaze had to travel through several layers of reality.
"Neither should you. Nobody should."
His hand spasmed one last time, then it fell limply onto the sheet, like a dropped object. His eyes closed, just like that. No transition, like someone had just switched him off. He was sleeping peacefully again. Or at least, that's what I thought. I stood there, frozen. Even the silence of the infirmary was giving me the creeps. I needed a smoke. God damn it, I needed a smoke. I fished out my pack of Luckies with a shaking hand, jammed a cigarette between my lips, and lit up. The first drag scorched my throat, tasted like metal and ash. I'd never needed one so bad.
"You smoking? In a sick bay?"
I jumped, nearly dropping the damn thing. Carter was sitting up in bed. He was staring at me, genuinely surprised. His eyes were clear, alive, nothing like the empty stare from a minute ago.
Jesus Christ, Carter. You scared the living hell out of me."
Scared the hell out of me? Shit, I'd nearly crapped my pants. I could still feel the icy imprint of his fingers on my wrist. But him, nothing. Radio silence. He was looking at me like I'd just walked into the room. Maybe I dreamt it. Maybe. I took a drag of nicotine to steady my nerves and held the pack out to him, arm still stiff.
"You want one?"
He recoiled, like I was offering him a dead rat.
"No, of course not. Don't tell me that in 1955, smoking in an infirmary is legal."
I stood there like an idiot, cigarette burning my fingertips.
"Of course it is. Why the hell wouldn't it be?"
That, my friend, you'll learn soon enough. "No, Sergeant, I don't want a cigarette, but I'd kill a man for a cup of coffee. Can you do that for me?"
I nodded and went to brew a pot on the percolator in the break room. When I came back, Carter looked up, and I could swear I saw a spark of happiness in his eyes.
"Thanks a lot, Grant. Steve."
You feeling better?
Hard to say. I'm still trying to figure out what's happening to me. To be honest, at first, I thought you were with the Alliance.
The Alliance?
Yeah, a religious cult. They want us dead, all of us.
Dead? Why? How can you still have enemies when you're just trying to survive?
According to the Alliance, we're blocking the gates of heaven. To them, the divine sentence was clear. Humanity was supposed to disappear. The dead were supposed to rise. Judgment Day was supposed to come. But us, the survivors, we cheated. We refused to die. As long as a single human remains alive, paradise stays locked. They believe that, heart and soul. That's why they fight us.
That makes no sense. When they get rid of you, what happens then?
I don't know. A massive collective suicide, I guess. The worst part is, you never know who's one of them. Anyone can turn. People exhausted by the refuge, tired of waiting for the end in a bunker, seduced by the paradise they're promised. When you live in a tomb long enough, Grant, madness always finds a crack. We live with the idea that any one of us could betray us. And sometimes, it happens.
Carter took a sip of coffee like it was nectar.
You know, Grant, I haven't had coffee since, I don't even remember when. You got kids?
No. No wife, no kids.
The lie burned my lips a little. Technically it was true, but Clara's face immediately forced its way into my mind. Since we'd met, I wasn't really alone in my head anymore.
Then you can't understand. I have a wife and a daughter. The hardest decision for me was leaving them. I did all this so that one day they could live in the open air. Like before. Leaving, I knew I'd never see them again, no matter what. I had to lie to my daughter. I just told her I was going to turn the sky back on.
That was when Morris walked into the room, visibly agitated.
At ease, Sergeant. Good morning, Carter. You look better than yesterday.
Yes, Colonel. I feel better.
Morris pulled up a chair and sat by the bed.
Carter, I just got back from Site A, the location of the first crash. Your mission partner's crash site. Commander Johnson.
Carter frowned, genuinely lost.
Johnson? Who's Johnson?
Morris didn't answer right away. His gaze wavered just barely, but enough for me to see he'd just taken a punch to the gut.
Carter, tell me this is a bad joke. Johnson, you told us about him yesterday. Don't tell me you forgot that.
Are you sure? I've never heard that name. I'm sorry.
I felt my stomach tighten.
Carter, you explained to us that your mission was to bring light back to Earth. Those were your words. 2 birds were rigged for the job. You were in one, Commander Johnson in the other. You told us he was a good buddy, a hell of a soldier, that he had a problem with his heat shield.
Carter listened to him like they were talking about someone else, about a life that had never been his.
That is my mission, Colonel. But I was alone, truly alone. There was no other aircraft. You must be mistaken.
An icy silence fell over the room. Morris turned to me, jaw clenched. Then he stood up and signaled me.
Grant, with me.
We stepped out into the hallway. The door shut behind us with a dull thud.
What's going on, Colonel? I don't know, Grant. I don't know a damn thing. I just got back from Site A. I can't believe it. There's nothing left. My boys had started tagging the debris. The tags are still there, but not a single piece of scrap. Like the bird never existed. If the forest wasn't scorched in places, I'd swear nothing happened. And now, this guy tells us the second plane never existed, that he doesn't even know who Johnson is.
Colonel, something happened a little while ago, with Carter.
I'm listening, Grant.
I swallowed. Just thinking about it gave me goosebumps.
Earlier, I was next to Carter. He was sleeping deeply. I was checking his vitals and, suddenly, he grabbed my hand.
And?
He told me he was dead, that he couldn't be here, that we couldn't be here. Then he went back to sleep like nothing happened. When he woke up, he didn't remember a thing.
Something is happening, Grant. Something I don't understand. The disappearance of the wreckage at Site A, Carter forgetting Johnson. And now he says he's dead? In what? Some kind of mystic trance. I feel like I'm in a goddamn nightmare. It's like we're living through something that shouldn't exist.
A shadow passed over his eyes, like a man finally accepting he's in over his head. Then he went back into Carter's room, and I followed suit. Morris spoke again, his voice harder this time.
Yesterday you told us about your mission. How did you plan to reactivate the sun?
We couldn't. The sun was dead. Nothing could have reignited it. But at Cellar 1, there was a scientist, a genius, Professor Weissman, a great scientific mind. I've never met an intellect like his. He had a completely crazy theory, a solution to bring heat and light back to Earth. I don't know if I can explain it with words you'd understand.
Try. We'll see.
The black hole that destroyed the sun didn't destroy the light. It captured it. And Weissman thought we couldn't get the lost light back, but we could force the black hole to produce new light. He called it the re-emission paradox. This black hole was supposed to become our substitute sun, not a star, a forced light source. To do that, I had to inject enough matter into its accretion disk, a lot of matter, just enough to make it glow and reflect back to Earth what it had stolen from us.
I'm trying to follow you, Carter. But when you say matter, what exactly are you talking about? A nuke?
No, a bomb is just a spark, not fuel. A black hole needs mass, real mass. I was carrying hyperdense capsules, spheres no bigger than an orange, but each one had the mass of an asteroid. The Guardians called them injection cores. My role was to release them, right at the edge of the disk, close enough to be swallowed, far enough for me to survive just long enough to send them.
You signed up for a suicide mission, soldier?
Yes. Not officially, but yes. I knew I wasn't coming back. I was only thinking of my wife and daughter. I couldn't stand the idea of them staying locked in Cellar 1 for the rest of their lives, waiting for the end in a concrete tomb. I wanted them to be able to feel the air again one day, real light, walk in a garden, outside. It was the hardest mission of my life, and the last.
So, if you were supposed to inject the fuel, who was in charge of creating the spark?
Carter opened his mouth, but no sound came out. His eyes darted from Morris to me, lost, like he was being asked to recall a dream that was unraveling. I felt my heart sink.
Who was supposed to trigger the final ignition, Carter? Who?
I don't know.
And then it all clicked, like the last piece of a puzzle. It was Johnson, the second pilot, the one whose wreckage had vanished this morning. I looked at Carter's face. He wasn't lying. Johnson had disappeared from the crash site, and now he'd just disappeared from Carter's memory, like he'd been erased from the equation. A chill ran down my spine. If the igniter didn't exist anymore, then the mission was screwed. Morris was about to speak when Captain Daniels walked in, face pale as a sheet.
Colonel, I think you'd better come see this. I've never seen anything like it.
We followed Daniels out of the infirmary. When we reached the base perimeter fence, Daniels stopped and pointed south, toward the horizon. And then I understood why his voice was shaking. Far ahead of us, the blue sky was tearing apart. A black curtain, immense, perfectly smooth, was advancing slowly, like a frozen wave. Not a storm, not a cloud, not smoke, a veil, a cloak of pure darkness. No light, no texture, no shadow. It was swallowing the sky and the earth, literally, and it was coming straight for us.
Jesus, what the hell is that?
I couldn't find a damn thing to say. The wind had stopped. You couldn't hear anything anymore, not even the birds. Nothing. The black veil kept coming, implacable. And for the first time since the events at Henderson, I realized that what was cracking wasn't just Carter, it was the world.